today I figured I'd make a little something about fan subs. So I haven't heard many good things about doing this. What I'm referring to here is machine translation. Come on. I don't think machine translation is even remotely accurate on its own, but we didn't have access to a lot of the stuff that we do nowadays, and it's a big deal. Hear me out, okay? First things first, to make a fan sub, you need subtitle edit. So with subtitle edit, you make subtitles. If it wasn't obvious, you make subtitles in it. And it's incredibly easy. This is one of the easiest pieces of software I think I've ever used. Just a quick rundown on what's going on the screen here. Left side here is, well, subtitles, right? You double click on a subtitle and it brings you to the exact moment that the subtitle starts. Let's see here. See, this is where I am on the timeline right now. Oh yeah, this is the timeline. So this is the timeline. This is where the subtitles are. And this is where the video feed is. So, yeah, right here, General Rick. We know that he starts talking at this point because there are really, really high peaks right at this point. So just before the peak starts, I'd put the start marker in front of the peak, before the peak starts ramping up. And then I insert a new video at subtitle position, which is behind my head here, right there. Boom, you see that? Yeah. So anyway, you click that guy, or I think you can hit Shift F9. That adds a subtitle to the current video position, obviously. And when that gets added, a bar, a horizontal like doodad gets added on this spreadsheet. And you can edit the subtitle in this, there we go, this little text box behind my big ass bulbous head. Type the baba blah 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 blah, and look at that, it's updating in the, that. So, yeah, it's so simple. Now, you probably notice, hey, wait a minute, some of this text is like a different color, or in some cases, like right here, you can have some pretty crazy stuff going on. Wow, he's so nice. First off, the text is slanted. There's like a bit of a perspective effect on it. There's a bunch of colors. You can do some cool stuff in here, but yeah, I'm doing colors and all this wacky stuff. So the reason I'm able to do that is because I'm making subtitles under the advanced substation alpha format. Or otherwise known as a .as file. So these .as files are about as good as it gets when it comes to subtitles. They're not going to be overly compatible with everything. These aren't going to work on YouTube, obviously, unless you like hard sub it. You bake the subtitles into the video feed, which is not a good idea. Never really want to do that. Yeah, if you're trying to maximize compatibility for multiple different places, .as is not a great idea. But when it comes to anime subtitles, it really truly is a great idea, I think. So that's what I'm doing. It has the most support for cool stuff. And yeah, that's how I'm able to make a bunch of colors and effects. And whenever a new character gets added to the video, I would add alpha styles. And basically I made one for every character in this anime. And whenever that character shows up and talks, I use that style by setting the style in the drop-down box here. I don't know if that's how most people do it, but that's how I do it. So moving on from advanced substation alpha and subtitle edit, you're probably wondering, well, good golly, I don't know how to speak the language. And you know what, buddy? Neither do I. What I've been doing to circumvent this massive issue is controversial, to say the least, but it's been working. I think I legitimately think that it's been yielding some acceptable results. Not perfect, and it's incredibly slow going, but step 2, speech to text. All right, now this is where things have started to pick up in recent years. What I've been doing is I've just been opening up Audacity, okay, to record voice. There we go. So what I'm gonna do is play a snippet of this anime here. Okay. And they're talking. Wow, cool. All right, so I'll only record one line at a time, basically, and I'll just amplify it just so it's a little clearer. And then I Control-Shift-E, and yeah, it's just a quick export button. Defaults to a WAV file. And what I've been doing is I just save it as untitled.wav, and whatever the default location is for you. I guess I'll be saving this to my YouTube downloads. untitled.wave. Normally I save it to my Audacity folder. So boom, I've saved that to the got dang. I recorded some audio, exported it to that folder, and now what I do is I go to the Hugging Face page for Whisper. Okay, you've probably heard of Whisper. It's the most advanced or speech to text AI that I'm aware of. That's free and open source and readily available. And yeah, I just drag the WAV file up in here and I submit. It takes typically no time at all, and it gets you a pretty solid. Wait a minute. Oh, before it did not actually translate it. I just wanted it to transcribe it without translating it. So I'm actually kind of confused here, to be honest. Like straight up, like a few days ago, I would hit submit and it would give me the untranslated Japanese text transcribed from the submitted audio file. But basically, yeah, you use Whisper, it transcribes the audio to text, and the translation part of it gets performed by Google Translate and DeepL, and you can basically combine the output of the two to get a vague understanding of what's being spoken about here. Oh, hey, there we go. I found a space. So with this space, it takes a while longer to process than the other one, unfortunately. God dang, that sucks. Whatever, I guess. Whenever it does finish, we'll have some Japanese text that we can work with. Translate selection to English. You can eat a lot of Hawaiian food. Copy. Okay, you can eat a lot of Hawaiian food. All right, what about this? Lots of Hawaiian food available. Okay, we're getting a general idea of what's being said here. Now, one other resource that you might want to look into is finding subtitles of a different language for whatever anime you're trying to translate, or if you're in my position, I have this. This is DG Shirat Neo. The later episodes, 73 all the way up to episode 104, are only translated using this incredibly rudimentary, like, hard sub that some crazy person made way back on a VHS encode. It's really rough. Let's go to Yuan at the end of the year. I don't know why they called Akihabara. That's the name of the city, right? Akihabara. That is supposed to be the translation for Akihabara. I don't know where they got that from, but this shit sucks. Okay, this is unwatchably bad. So I took it upon myself to start translating this. That's why I'm doing all this in the first place. And the subtitles, they're not good enough on their own, that's for sure, but they are good enough to kind of use a bit to build off of, I guess. You can deduce from this, let's go, if I became the princess of Akihabara, it would be there would be a celebration. A celebration would ensue. You could deduce that that's what she's trying to say. That she wants to become princess of Akihabara so that they can celebrate. They have this weird misconception that Akihabara is like Hawaii because it's super hot. Anyway, I'm using other existing awful subtitles or subtitles that aren't in my language alongside speech recognition output and multiple machine translators to deduce what is trying to be said across multiple sentences. Once I've done that, I make the subtitle. All right. I basically get an understanding of what's happening. I translate it. At this point, I've gotten the results of multiple different machine translations, and I make my own translation that pulls from everything and takes into account the context of the characters in the show. If you're an existing fan of the show, your translation is likely going to be a lot more accurate. And if you have a good understanding of Japanese culture or whatever language you're trying to translate, your translation again is going to be even better. If you know a little bit of Japanese, you don't know a lot, then even better. You see what I'm saying here? You don't have to know Japanese, but you can get a pretty good grasp on what's happening in the show based on all these different resources. And so, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I've been doing. And it's really slow going. Like, don't get me wrong, bro. If you simply knew how to speak the language, this would be way faster. But I don't. and I don't expect a lot of people who want good subtitles know the language either. I mean, let's be real, if you know the language, why would you need subtitles, right? What's your incentive to make subtitles, right? Right? Come on, like, let's be real. That's what I'm thinking, right? Like, there's no reason for someone who already knows the language to make subtitles, and there's no, up till this point, way for someone who doesn't know the language, who wants subtitles, to get them. There's no method for them to make them, or at least there wasn't until now. So, I mean, this is what I got so far. I'm just gonna do a quick run through of what I've got. By the way, this is a really good show. This is one of my favorite anime of all time, okay? If you have not seen DG Shirat, you are missing out. Hey, see, look at that shirt. You see that? Yeah, that was pretty cool, right? I made his shirt say Akihabara. If you speak Japanese and you notice anything fucked, tell me. That would be cool. I'd appreciate that. But honestly, so far, I've had one person who does speak Japanese, at least a bit, watch it, and he wasn't able to identify. Hey, look at the little text up there. That's pretty cool. He wasn't able to identify any glaring issues, at least. He thought it was pretty good. So, I mean, it's incredibly slow going, but if you're passionate about it and you want a show that you truly like to get its subtitles, then do it yourself, okay? Don't wait for someone else to do it. I mean, unless you're filthy rich and you can commission that kind of stuff. I'm not. Yeah, you should just do it yourself. I mean, you can. Something I like doing is when multiple people talk at the same time in this show, I like to stack the text up on top of each other. So it doesn't take up too much space on the bottom of the screen. And it just looks kind of cool, you know? Sales Promotion Defense Rangers.